Alright, this is my first attempt at a transformation video. My apologies if it's not any good. This is the concept Arcee from the 2007 Bayverse live-action Transformers movie. She was not actually in the movie. This particular figure has had a couple of parts swapped out between it and the black Japanese version. So there's more gray on this one than there is on that one. First thing we're going to do is take off this missile, set it off to the side. And then we've got the crossbow weapon is the seat of the motorcycle. It's held in place with two pegs here and a slot. So we just kind of wiggle it up, pops right off. There's the pegs into those holes. Then we're going to take the fuel tank, we're going to lift it up and then bring the whole front of the bike out like that. Then we're going to grab a hold of the back so that it's hanging down. There's a split in the tire. We'll grab each side of that and then we just kind of wiggle and pry, and then it'll pop apart. So now we have the arms with part of the chest. We take the arms and we just kind of angle them down on these hinges right here. So take that and just angle it down. And then the legs, we grab, they're held together with a peg right here. So you put your finger in here and you just kind of wiggle, it'll pop right off. And then you grab a hold of the leg while still holding onto the body back here. So the body is this spot, this is all part of the leg. You hold this and then you just kind of wiggle it back and forth. And there are two hinges in here, which I'll show. There's one right here. There's one right here. And we're straightening that out. And then the foot, which was like that, comes out like that. So we'll do the other one. Just grab a hold of it and just kind of wiggle and pull. I'll grab the leg and I'll pull, so it's straightened out. And then straighten out the other foot. So now we're going to want this part to go into the back and the legs to come forward. So we bring the legs down. Oops. And then we kind of push this down and you kind of split the legs slightly and this will just go right in between them and go on the back like that. And then we're going to push the chest piece down. Get this, hold on. The tire's in the way, sorry. Get that back. And then you put your finger back here and you can push her head out. Like that. Let's close the chest up. And this back tire goes into there. This piece folds inward and it goes into this little slot like that. And you just straighten the legs out, straighten the feet out. Alright, then we angle our arms down, turn the elbow. Now this one is the one that the weapon goes on. There's a peg right here and there's a slot for it right there. So it's easier to do this when these are not in the way. Speaking of those, they're on hinges in the back. They need to angle up. So do that, so that they're like wings. And you bring this piece and you put it into that slot. That. Now you can put the projectile in. These black lines actually swing out because it's a crossbow. So you should hold it with your finger on the arm and on the seat. And then you just push the missile in until it clicks. This button right here will make it shoot out. It is spring loaded. Alright, So then we take this piece, just kind of roll it up out of the way and bring it in. And bring the other one in. And you can have her displayed. I've seen people do it this way. I've seen people have it partial. But the way that it's officially supposed to go and the way I prefer it is up like that. And they're just held in place by friction of these pieces pushing up against the chest. And then we'll just make sure that I got her feet lined up right to stand. And then, yep, I gotta balance her out a little bit better. There we go. That is the robot mode. Because I have her head looking down a little bit, but that's okay. Now we're gonna put her back as a motorcycle. So take the crossbow off. And so it doesn't fly across my basement, I'm just going to hold it and press the button, pull it out. We take the wings, swing them out, bring them down, and we're going to spread the legs out. We're going to grab a hold of this piece, bring it up a little bit, and then this piece right here out. So it's like that. And we're going to turn her, and we're going to use my fingers. I'm just going to start bringing it forward and then spread the legs slightly, and there it comes out. So now it's toward the front, and then the legs need to swing back. So get both legs swung back so she's like that. I'm going to put her head back in, so we open up the chest, pull the chest out, and just push the head down inside. And now it's going to be easier to have the arms out of the way, so going to turn her arms up, and then actually should have turned them back this way, and then bring them together on these hinges right here so that they're kind of upside down like that. I'm going to take the tire and I'm going to turn these two pieces, line them up with one another, and then you just kind of squeeze them together and they just pop in place. So no big deal. Turn the elbows so that the holes are facing up away from the tire, and the hands curve down just a little bit. And then we're going to fold the foot, the heel end of the foot, fold the foot back on both of them, and then the calf section actually swings forward and then it pivots back. So we're going to swing it forward and pivot back like that. So turn it around, swing it forward while pivoting it back like that. And put the foot back in. So that's how it should look. And then we're going to fold them inward toward the body. Push them together on this little peg. Right there. And at this point we just kind of squeeze some things together down here. And then that's just leaves the crossbow piece. So this slot right here goes underneath this silver section. So you put it under like that, but you lift up the chest piece and then you bring it down so that this piece is slotting in here. So bring that up and then just slot it in, push the fuel tank down, and then I just kind of hold it with my finger like that. And then I can push the arms up into their pegs. That one, and then just turn it around and push that one in. And then we just kind of squeeze everything in, make sure everything's all seated like it's supposed to be. And then the only thing that's left is the missile, it's this slot right here, the little one, goes into this peg. So it goes right there. And then the kickstand comes out, but how far down you have it determines how much it leans. If you want it to be like a real motorcycle, you barely bring it out at all. And there it is.